It's your host, Mo, and my co-host, Nathan.
You know, the black guy. Just want y'all to know that this ain't the internet, okay? It's not the internet. Watch what you say, because things can come back to you. It's common sense. What's up, Mo?
You know? What's up? You always have some philosophical, I don't know, dad joke to give the people.
Damn, we gotta be a dad joke?
I appreciate that. I really do appreciate it.
You know, gotta loosen them up a little bit.
Keep it light.
Because, you know, this world be like all stiff.
I love that. I love that.
Gotta still keep that sense of humor.
Stay
grounded.
I love that.
We still live in the real world, people. Don't be all uptight, man. You know what I mean? Be all uptight.
It's November. Can you believe that we're in November?
No. No.
Thanksgiving is this month.
I know.
We're like, what, 3 weeks away from Thanksgiving?
Yep. And my daughter's birthday.
What day is her birthday?
Soon. No, it's the 10th.
I'm like, what is happening?
No, it's the 10th.
So that's next week, huh?
And you know she has not shut up
about her birthday.
Man, every single day. Like, she be playing when it comes to homework and other stuff, acting like she can't count.
Okay.
Oh, but she can count them days down to her birthday and shit. And I'll be like, really? Dad,
is
9
baby
more
girl's
days.
birthday the youngest one?
No, oldest.
What you mean? She act like she don't know how to count?
That'd be my kids. I'm telling you, they like to play the game. I'd be like, you think your dad was born last night, huh? Yeah, all right.
That's crazy. This. So how old is she going to be?
Big 12.
12. That is a pivotal.
Yes.
Why do I get on here and can't talk?
I don't know.
Mercy.
I got you. Know it's a pivotal age.
It is a pivotal age.
It really is.
Because you're not quite a teenager.
No.
But you are definitely not. You're not a little girl anymore. You know, so you're on that cusp of preteen. I guess you're a preteen.
Yep.
Oh, you're a preteen at 12.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's
scary.
Intense. It is scary. Because is she in 5th or 6th grade?
She is in the 5th grade.
Okay. So is this the last year of elementary for her?
Yeah.
Okay. So next year she'll go to
Sixth
junior
grade.
high school and do 6th grade.
Yep.
6th, 7th, 8th?
Yep.
Yeah. So you will see a major change from here to 6th grade.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I
I'm
think
already
6th
knowing.
grade was like such a pivotal turning point for my son. That was when he decided that he kind of liked girls, and it was just really an interesting stage. And he started junior high school. No, you know what? Actually, he went to a charter school. And
oh, yeah?
Yeah. So he wasn't. I didn't let him go to junior high until 7th grade.
How was that?
The charter school? It was fine. It was a cool school. It was uniforms. It was very, I would say, what's the word? Like, I cannot.
Communal? It was.
No, it was like, it was just like very like, quaint. That's the word. There
quaint.
we go. It was quaint.
That's a word for y'all.
I
quaint.
don't know what is happening today. Yeah, it was very quaint. He was just like small classroom settings.
Oh, yeah.
They were kind of like a little family. The 6th grade class wasn't too large, so I
kind of a little
liked
better.
that.
You know?
It was very much so. I knew for him. I felt for him that was what he needed. I didn't think he was ready to go to junior high school in 6th grade. I went to junior high school in 6th grade, but
really?
Different times.
I didn't.
Yeah, so
I still
6th, 7th,
I still
and
had
8th.
recess.
Yeah,
6th grade.
Yeah.
6th grade was low key lit. It was fun.
It was lit for me too. So
it was fun,
yeah.
and I got a chance to play. It's funny because like we weren't junior high, but we did junior high stuff because I went to a private school.
Okay.
So 6th grade, you were able to play football on the football team.
Oh, okay.
And I played on a football team, and
That's nice.
I was starter too.
Nice.
Yeah,
okay.
I was running back.
You was the little guy with the muscles.
Little guy. You see this? See how the disrespect starts? Nah, I've always been like that, just
my
stocky.
God, just a stocky little guy with muscles.
Yeah. Hey, look, all the fifth graders used to try and pick on me too. They used to try and pick at me. I'm like, really? Like, y'all in fifth grade, like, because we used to play basketball against them on the playground. So they would talk shit, and I was like, okay. But then when they found out I was the running back and I was running people over, that shit kind of changed. They was like, man, yeah. I was like, yeah.
We don't want the stocky guy to tackle us.
Yeah, it's funny too. Them is all my guys right there. Shout out my guys. Like, all the dudes that was in fifth grade, I watched all them grow up. We went to school again.
You watched all the fifth graders grow up?
Oh, yeah.
That you went to school with?
Yeah, we grew up together.
So you guys grew up together.
Uh-huh. But, I mean, I kind of watched them grow up because they went their own paths, did their own things.
Okay.
And they were, like, knee-deep in the basketball. They were, like, real good. I ain't going to lie.
Okay.
But we used to always have it out with them. That's funny.
Yeah. Have you thought about just kind of what you're thankful for this? It's November. It's the month of gratitude. It's actually National Month of Gratitude. It's Thanksgiving is coming up.
I just want to thank Columbus for all his bullshit. Thank you. Appreciate it. Because here we are. Yeah, right. No, really, for real. I just want to be thankful for seeing another day, blessed with opportunity, blessed with family, some people don't have their parents. I'm still lucky to have my mom.
Yeah.
Some siblings.
Okay.
Stuff like that. My kids.
Yeah.
Thankful just for that, just mainly opportunity, that is like, to me, it beats all.
Yeah.
Because if you can get up every day, do whatever it is what you want to do, no matter what it be, you got a chance to control your destiny and change your trajectory and your path. So I'm thankful just for that alone, because some people didn't wake up yesterday.
That's true.
Some people are not going to come out of the hospital. Some people are locked up forever.
Yeah.
And it's like such a waste.
Yeah.
Some people died. Speaking of that, R.I.P. my nigga Quavo, man. I mean,
Absolutely.
Takeoff. I'm sorry.
Takeoff.
Yeah, Takeoff, man.
Yep.
It's crazy, bro. To even think about that, just being black, I'm just like, dog. And this is the quiet dude out the group too, like.
From what I read, he was the youngest one of the group as well.
Man.
Yeah. This time of year, I always reflect on just how fast, first and foremost, the year flew by.
Right.
But this year seems like it what's faster than flying? Like an accelerator. I don't even know.
I don't know. Well, depending on what you're flying. Yeah, there it is.
Skyrocketed.
That flew by the speed of light.
Yeah, the speed of light. It really does feel like that. And so I am so thankful, just like you. I can't, first and foremost, just life in general. I can't be more thankful for being able to see another day. And family is super, super important, and my health.
Right.
I'm so thankful
also
for good health. And today my company laid off 18% of our workforce. That 18%? Totaled 550 people.
Sheesh.
It was insane.
Is that just at your building, like?
Across the entire organization.
Oh wow!
Across the entire organization, 550 people lost their jobs, and so I thought to myself, on day 2 of National Month of Gratitude, how thankful I felt to not have been one of those people impacted by a job loss, right? I've been there, so I definitely understand layoffs. Well.
That just sucks.
It does suck. And I don't think there's ever a really good time to lose your job, but this time of year
oh my God,
has got to be the worst time.
I swear, you're right. I used to have a moment in time, it felt like when my oldest daughter was way younger, it seemed like almost like 3 years straight. It felt like every time around this time of the year, something happens with this job, and I'm just like, what the hell is this? Like, why?
Why?
And it's stressful.
So stressful.
It is ridiculously
So
stressful.
stressful.
Now, granted, I had some people have my back at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to still make ends meet and pull things together.
Mm-hmm.
And she was still young enough to where she wouldn't really remember it. It wouldn't impact her as much.
Right.
But I wasn't able to live up to my own expectation of what I saw myself doing for my kid at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just stressful.
Yeah.
It was just like horrible. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So my heart goes out to the family of, first and foremost, Takeoff. And again, rest his soul.
Rest your soul, bro.
He was a young man.
Yeah, 28.
That did not deserve to lose his life.
28
years old. Yeah. And from what I understand, was shot over a dice game. Just petty bullshit that just is so unacceptable on so many levels.
It's embarrassing. It's ridiculous. Y'all need to grow up. For real.
Yeah, it's really bad. And so, my heart goes out to the family. And then also my heart goes out to anybody that is struggling right now financially, or with like their living situation.
No, for real.
Those are big things that, never mind the holidays and gift giving and all that. It's like, if you don't have basic necessities,
it's hard out here.
It's hard. It's super
hard out here,
so,
for real.
Count your blessings. If you're not in that situation, love on the people that love you. And that's kind of what I'm thankful for.
That's good.
Yeah.
So even love the people that don't love you, because you filling their basket is you filling your own. So yeah,
this is true. Love is really
it's universal. You gotta do it.
It is
for sure. And it's for you. It's like forgiveness. It's for you.
Absolutely. Yeah. So
what else you got for us today?
So I've been struggling. I've been struggling with this parenthood, and I have an older kid, so parenthood for me looks really different than like it does for you, and just how it looks different than it ever has before. And so I'm just really struggling with how to navigate these challenges.
You got a son.
I have an 18-year-old son,
right?
Who graduated high school in May.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Good job, young man.
For me, that was the bare necessity. I, no shade to any parent out there whose kid, hasn't graduated or, but for me, that is the bare minimum. Like, I feel like every child attends K through 12th grade. Now, what you do after 12th grade is completely up to you.
This is true.
But those are that's like the bare minimum. So, I am thankful that he did, meet the bare minimum expectations. However, now I think we're some months post graduation, and he just doesn't have a plan. As far as I'm concerned, he says things like, "Oh, I'm gonna be a YouTuber," and here's the thing, I support whatever it is that you want to do, but I'm very much, I want to see the action behind the words,
right,
and there's no action. So while you're saying that you're gonna be a YouTuber, that sounds great, right? But I don't see you putting together any type of content. I don't see you, he says he's into music. For a while, he was scheduled to go to art school, to pursue like a certificate in audio engineering. And here's the deal. The school was, I don't know, $30,000. And so I said, I will help you, but this is a certificate program. So it's an accelerated program. It's a year. You have to pay half. You got to meet me in the middle here. And some parents may disagree that you ask your kid to pay for college. For me, it wasn't like a college education that he was pursuing. He was pursuing a trade, which is fine. Right. And I supported him in that. But my thing is, again, help me help you, right? So if this is something that you really, really feel passionate about, I want to see you put forth some action and some effort toward what you're saying you're passionate about. So part of that passion, I want to see, okay, this is what it's going to look like. I want you to help me pay for this, right. You know? Let's get a budget together. What does your budget look like? Right. He never did that. I mean, he wouldn't even respond to the school when they would send emails. So that was a lot of the reason why, I guess the method behind my madness was that I didn't see him putting forth any type of effort or action. So it was all just talk and it sounded good. So my thing is like, I don't have $30,000 to just throw out the window for you to say you're gonna do this, right? And maybe a month in, you're now not going to class. You're just, you know what I mean? All of these things are happening, and now I'm bound to this $30,000 that I still have to pay this school, right? Because this is what we agreed to, right? So I guess knowing him, I move a certain way based off I know my kid, right? So yeah, I'm struggling because he doesn't seem to have a plan. So then we're like, okay, what about the military?
The military?
Hey, listen.
I ain't going there.
Right?
They sent that shit to me. I sent that shit right back. I was like, oh, that's what that is? Right back in the slot.
I even threw out, take some college courses at Chandler Gilbert, and what does that look like? No, I don't want to do that. So you don't want to go to school. You don't really want to go to a trade school, because if you did, you would have actually been doing the things that they needed you to do. You don't want to go to the military. And today I found out he quit his job, the second job that he has quit within since July.
Since July? Well, I mean, quitting ain't necessarily a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing, but you don't quit a job without a backup plan,
right. You got to have a backup.
And so he didn't communicate that. So my thing is, you're 18 years old. You live in my house. It's a privilege to live in my house. You don't follow my rules. I have very simple rules. My rules are, you need to contribute to the house in terms of, doing some dishes, taking out the garbage, keeping your area clean. That's really it. He doesn't do his part on those things. If you saw his room right now, you would be floored.
Floored? Oh,
floored. His most recent antics, he left for 3 days and hasn't come back and doesn't communicate. He doesn't answer my calls. I feel like that's disrespectful.
It could be, but it could be that he just doesn't know how to communicate those things to you. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a man, you know what I mean? Like, and it's not always the easiest, because sometimes, your parents can put pressure on you, and you can have a certain parent or both your parents, and you never want to upset them, or you never want to disappoint them. So, you might think about it and go about it the wrong way because you don't want to upset them or disappoint them. So, I mean, that could very well be the case.
Maybe it is. I honestly am not sure. He definitely lacks in the communication department.
Gotta have that, because that's what makes up for the misunderstanding.
And so at this point, I'm kind of like, I feel like I need to exercise tough love. And I think that it's time for him to kind of go out on his own and see the real world and how it is. And the control freak in me is losing it. I'm losing my shit.
That'll be a control freak.
I'm a control freak. I'm also very panicked because I know he's not prepared.
Well, all right. So that right there is like, that's where you gotta really like You gotta know you. You know your child, but then you don't want to achieve the exact opposite of what you were trying to. You know what I mean? Because like, just look at our parenting or our parents' parenting. We could have went a whole opposite way. You know what I mean? Versus where we were actually being pushed. Like, hell, discipline then back then, man, that was abuse. We're just gonna keep it a buck.
So my parents were my parents were super strict
about it. No, mine were too.
Yeah, they were super strict, and
but I'm saying that could have forced you to neglect 100%. You could have been like, you could have been like, forget that. I don't want. I mean, I'm not neglect. Rebel. I'm sorry, rebel. That's what I meant.
No, I did.
It could have forced you to rebel. You know,
I did rebel,
but I mean, like heavily, like.
Well, I mean, I left home when I was 17.
Me too.
I ran away.
I didn't run away, but
I ran away.
I walked away.
so you know, they're strict parenting and their rules. Mm-hmm. But I also grew up very differently than my son. My mm-hmm. son is very sheltered. He's mm-hmm. Like, you know, he doesn't know like street life and things like that. So I'm kind of like,
are you in the streets?
Are you ready for that? It wasn't that I was in the streets, but I mean, because I saw how my parents were and things from a very early age. Right. I didn't need to be in the streets because I saw what the streets do to you. Exactly. You know, so I was pretty well rounded mm-hmm. by 17. Mm-hmm. I knew that I didn't want that. So if I don't want that, mm-hmm. what's the opposite of that? What else can I do? Right. Right. And so I don't know. I'm just struggling.
Well, have you thought about putting like prices and stipulations on certain things? So like for me, like my kids right now, they're 8 and 11. Mm-hmm. But just like an incentive to keep their room clean. It's like, okay, you want your allowance? Great. There's nothing wrong with that. You get an allowance. That's okay. Is that a water bottle in your room when it's not supposed to be in your room? That's $1. I need that. Right. You know what I mean? Something to keep them in line, because that's one thing that you're going to have to use later on in life is money anyway. And it's going to be something that I don't want to run your life, but you need to respect it, you know, to a fault for real, because you're going to need to use it as a tool. Yeah. And in order to get it and gain more of it, you're going to have to learn how to operate without, around all that stuff, and know that there's rules and regulations everywhere you go. And if you don't follow them, you won't get what you're asking for. Well,
and that's why I say it's time for him to experience life in the real world, mm-hmm. because I've been preaching that. I've been instilling that. We tried the whole incentivize of where, okay, you get to pay mm-hmm. The cable or the internet bill. Okay. You know, or you can help put money on, you know, get toward the electric, you know, little things, you know, oh, well, you know what, you want to drink up a gallon of milk in a day or whatever, then you should just buy milk.
Stomach gotta hurt if you did that.
Well, he buys milk and cereal every 2 days. Oh, shit. That's what he eats off. That's literally what he lives off of. He doesn't want to eat real food.
I remember them days.
Yeah, so I don't know. But my thing is like, okay, these are the choices that you're making. Mm-hmm. You want to live a life of struggle. You don't want structure. You're rebelling against structure. You mm-hmm. don't want to make a plan for your future. Mm-hmm. You can't see past the day. Mm-hmm. You know, if you don't quit your job to hang out.
No, not to hang out.
You know, and so his thing was like, oh, well, I was going to quit anyway. It doesn't matter what you were going to do. It doesn't matter if you were going to go find another job. The mature adult thing to do is to make sure you do all of those things mm-hmm. and then quit your job.
But are you really an adult at 18? You know?
So I would say no, but I know a lot of 18-year-olds that know better than to do that.
Well, but some people though have been forced into that, you know, like for you or myself, like how you know how to take accountability. Right. I know how to take accountability, but we were both forced into that. Right. That's something that was instilled long ago before we even made it to being in our teenage years, mm-hmm. you know, and life has shown us that, not just parents, you know.
That is why I say that it's time for me to exercise tough love. True. And it's going to break my heart. I'm very sad about it. And it's a struggle. But at the end of the day, all I can do is pray that I gave him the tools. I taught him right from wrong. What he does from here on out is on him. You quit your job, that's on you. You got a phone bill to pay. You know, you want to stay at your friend's house for 3 days. Well, I hope they're going to let you live with them, because I can't imagine anyone's going to let you live with them without a job.
So what do you think of this then? I spoke to this older white dude once, and he was saying that the reason why a lot of black kids go out in the world and fail is because of the pressure from their parents. And, you know, it's like, you know, in our culture and a lot of times in the household, it's been drilled in this kid's head to look forward for the day of 18 because you're about to get kicked up out of here. You know, and that's kind of shitty. It's sad, right? So this kid doesn't almost have anything to look forward to. And then you're like sending this baby out in the world,
right?
And expecting them to thrive and prevail. And, you know, he's saying like, we don't really do that. Like white people don't really do that with their kids. Now, are there some that are just like ridiculously spoiled and privileged? Hell yes. But for the most part, it's like, you know, you kind of want your kid to take those steps on their own. So somewhere around 23, 24, you know, 22, usually when you got something up and running already. I mean, and for some kids, it comes before that.
So I would agree with you. I do think that as a culture of people, we do send our children out into the world prematurely, right? Oh, yeah. More often than not. I think that for me, I know that was never my goal. I'm never like, oh, when you turn 18, you got to leave. That was never my goal or like what I wanted for him. What I wanted for him was for him to, you know, find his passion and to plan out just, you know, short-term goals of where he wants to be, how is he going to get there,
right? Gotta have goals.
And then actively just work on that plan daily, you know. And again, our rules are very simple, you know. Come in at a respectable hour. If you're not going to be here at a respectable hour, just let us know, and then you just need to stay where you are, you know.
That was the coldest thing. I don't know why parents
if you can't be in by 2
a.m.,
you know, because now you're waking me up, you're waking our dogs up, we go to bed soon. You know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of disrespectful and rude, and it's very, you're 18, so really, what are you doing out till 2 a.m. anyway? You know what I mean?
You don't even want to know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I get it. Like, I was 18 too, and you get in that moment and you're kicking it, whatever. So if you can't make it home, you can't make it home. But then you just call and you say something, you communicate that.
At 2 a.m?
If you can't make it home by 2, I'm locking my doors.
How do you know until up until that moment? Like, you don't really know. Like, you're not like,
because
well,
you know
11 o'clock. I don't think I'm gonna make it by 2.
You know by midnight if you're
by
like
midnight.
By
you
midnight
knew?
if things are just remember I didn't live at home.
Well, me neither. But
so I didn't live at home. I didn't need to call anybody. But he does.
That's true.
So there's a difference,
That's true.
know. And if I had lived at home, it would have been whatever my parents' rules were
that
I would need to abide by, which is a lot of times why we in our culture at 18 we choose to leave home because we don't want to abide by those rules.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
And so that's where I'm saying it is a privilege. Like,
it's a privilege.
It's a privilege for your grown child to, whether they're mentally grown or not, it is a privilege for your grown child to live in your home.
Well, do you think we have something to do with that as parents?
What do you mean?
Know, and our parents even before that, like making it to the best of comfort, I guess you would say, or just accommodating.
Yeah, he told me that he was comfortable, and I'm sure you're comfortable. This is your home. This is where this is all you know.
Right.
But if you're comfortable, then you succumb to whatever the rules are, and you do what you have to do until you can do what you want to do.
Right, that's true.
And that's in general.
Right? I was just gonna say that too.
That's a life tool, people.
Yeah.
You do what you have to do until you can do what you want to do.
That's very true.
And that goes for anything. I mean, that goes for school, that goes for work. Because think about it. When you go to work every day, there's a lot of rules that the company has that you and I may not agree with.
That's true.
But until I can sign my own checks, I'm going to abide by the rules of this company. That's true. That's life.
That's true. Ain't got no choice on that one.
Right.
You know.
And so he has to learn that no matter where you go in life, whether it's my house, your friend's house, your dad's house, there's going to be rules.
Yep.
Right? Until it's your house.
That's true.
Where you pay the cost to be the boss.
That's true.
Then you can decide what is going to go on and what's not going to go on in your house.
That's true.
So regardless of, you know, what anybody may feel, right? I have my rules. They may be they're simple to me. They may be complex to him. But it is what it is. If you're ready to, you know, take on the real world, you're demonstrating that it's time for you to do that, because these things aren't working for you.
I get that. You know, when I was about that age though, I had I think I was about 17. Yeah, I was about 17. I had a rough little time in that time. Not long, but it was a rough little patch there with my moms and whatnot. And it's crazy because she went and got like eviction notices. She went and got like 2 of them.
To evict you?
Yeah. She gave me a 60-day notice.
I love that.
And like a 30-day notice.
I love that.
Like, and I remember her bringing them. I remember her like threatening me for a minute. I was like, I was sitting in my studio. I was just making beats in my house. I'm like, yeah, all
not
right.
An eviction.
Like, whatever,
notice.
Mom. Yeah, sure. You gonna go get that? Whatever. I don't care. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
And it was weird because I was like, man, like I always keep a job. I had a job since I was like 15, you know, and actually before that, just like under the table, but like officially since like 15. So I kept a job.
What were you doing that she didn't like?
I think it was just not obeying and, you know, just becoming grown. You know what I'm saying? Like certain things, I guess she felt like she was losing the control over her household. And it was never that I was trying to come across as, hey, I run this house. Yeah. It was more like my dad is not here anymore.
So you felt like the man of the house.
Yeah, I'm going to protect this house. Like, it is what it is. And it's not to say I don't want to abide by your rules or whatnot, but understand that I am going to hang out. Yeah. I'm not going to come in here at this hour or this hour. I don't have to go to school anymore, so I'm done. I was done with school at 17. I was already going to college.
And see, I think that's hard too, because 17, you're still legally a minor, right? And so that's
my birthday's late.
17,
so.
Exactly. 17's hard because when you're on that cusp, you feel like you're not. And I mean, you're not legally an adult, but mentally you feel like, oh, well, I'm, you know.
It's because of status.
Especially when you're done, you know, you've graduated school and whatnot. And here's the thing. If my son were demonstrating that he was capable of making positive choices, right, and wise choices, even if they weren't choices that didn't necessarily align with what I think should be happening, as long as they were positive, conducive to a life that will take him far, I would be okay. But as parents, when your kids are making certain choices, you know when those choices are going to backfire.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's like, you know, if you're already quitting multiple jobs, you don't have tenure at any job, you're 18 years old, and you don't want to go to school, you don't want to further your education, you don't really want to get a trade, your biggest goal in life is to become a YouTuber in a world where YouTube has so much competition and things are constantly evolving, and if you aren't dedicated to perfecting that craft, right?
Have you talked to him
really
about that?
How far are you gonna? Yes, of course.
Got to.
Yeah. I mean, he was gaming for a while, and he would just not leave his room. He would stay up till 5, 6 o'clock in the morning and game all night, right?
Sheesh.
And here's my thing.
You're strong.
If you're going to do that, why don't you make some money from it?
Yeah.
But he's not.
Good.
And he doesn't even have, there's no concept of this is what I'm doing to get here and here. And again, it kind of goes back to that communication piece of where we said he lacks communication, but he really doesn't though. He does, but he doesn't. He doesn't want to communicate with me. He doesn't want to tell me his plans. I think he thinks I'm overbearing. I'm nosy. I am all of those things, but I am not doing my job.
Your mom.
If I'm not, you know what I mean, getting on your nerves.
No, that's true.
So,
you know, and we don't identify those things just off bat. That's kind of like a later on thing usually, you know.
I just hope that, I always say, you know, your early years of adulthood are for you to make errors, mistakes, right? So that you can grow from them, you can learn, and that's how you gain that experience, right?
That's true.
But you have to be careful that those mistakes and those errors that you make are not permanent.
Right.
Because just like that, they can become very permanent, and your life can be over before it ever even starts.
That's crazy, huh? That's very true. I think about those kind of things even with my kids. You know, like, I don't know, like, my daughter asked me, my oldest, she's like, are you gonna force me to go to college? I'm like, you know what? I mean, I went to college, and I won't say it didn't do me any justice because it definitely did. But college is just not for everybody, and I'm not mad at that. You know what I mean? Like for us, we had more of a traditional raising, so it was kind of forced. It was like, go to college. You know what I mean?
See, for me, it wasn't.
No,
my mom taught us very early because my mom didn't go.
Oh, okay.
And so her thing was that like it's not for everyone,
right? And
you don't have to have a college degree to be successful.
Right. Now, see, my mom she didn't illustrate that with me. It was more about going and collecting the money from my dad's GI Bill, you know, to support myself and to learn some things. And I mean, when I moved out, I learned that I had to go because I had to pay bills now for real, you know, and I was paying for a 3-bedroom apartment and it wasn't cheap.
I think that college is important, and I think that, you know, parents should continue to instill that in their children. Now, if your child is someone that demonstrates that like school's not for them and they don't like it and they don't want to go, I don't think it should be a forced thing.
Right.
But it is a resource, and that resource becomes a tool in your tool belt for later on down the road. Right. No, that's true. And that's the conversation that parents should, you know, should probably have with their kids as it pertains to education. Right. You know, because we've talked about this before in other cultures, it's not an option. No. It's not an option, real. You know, seriously. But we also see that difference in other cultures, you know, and how successful their children become. Right. Because they do go to school, you know. But here's the thing. We have to take it a step further. And while education is a resource, there are things beyond education that we now know would be very lucrative to us, right? So like wise financial planning, assets and liabilities, understanding what those things mean, right? So if you're not getting a free college education, how are you paying for college? You know, because that can become a liability.
Know, college, when you say it, just at the word of even college, it sounds intimidating. You know what I mean? Like, and for someone being 17, 18, you know, or just those years to come up to that, it's like, what am I going to do? You know what I mean? How am I going to go about this? Am I going to fail? Am I going to succeed? I think the biggest recommendation I wish someone would have gave me at that moment in time, and I would give a lot of younger people now this knowledge, is if you don't go to college, at least go to school for business. go take a business class, because that's definitely going to help you in the long run. You know, because again, college may not be for everybody, and that's okay, because you're thinking like, well, what is my major? You know, I want to go for a major, and it has to be something specific. But as long as you have business in your back pocket, you know, down the line, you might change and feel different about what you were even majoring in and say, you know what, I don't really want to do architecture anymore. I just want to go be a landscaper. But being a landscaper, you might be the boss of this landscape company, and you need to know how to run the business, because the business part is the part that's going to help you to keep a successful business, you know, but you need that part, and learn finances.
And yep, I agree.
You got to learn that. Those are the things that they just don't teach you in school, you know, because they raise you to be like a robot, you know, either go to prison, be a slave, or die. Like, that's really what it is. So, and that's not an option. You know, if you were rebelling at home, then I know for a fact you were going to rebel elsewhere. Most definitely. Because I definitely did.
Well, and I think for my son, like, that was a lot of our challenges. Is that, you know, for 4 years of high school, it was like, well, what are your plans? What are your thoughts? What do you want to do? And it was just never a straightforward. And I get it. You're a kid. You don't really know, you know? And he was doing things in school that he clearly knew he should not have been doing, which really was an indication that you're just on the wrong path. And so I have come to the realization that it's scary to think, but I think my child is on the path to destruction, and it's scary because I just don't.
Well,
I mean,
I wouldn't say destruction.
Definitely destruction.
Nah,
definitely.
I was on the path to destruction. I definitely was on it. I know it.
If you have no type of goals or ambition or motivation to do anything, there's a problem.
Yeah, but I wouldn't go as far as saying destruction.
Well, it's only
destruction is kind of like so far gone, there's nothing you can do about it. It's gonna happen.
But there's something you can do about it, but he has to want it.
That's true.
I can't do it for
him.
Yeah,
you can't want it more for him than he wants it for himself.
Exactly.
Right,
so when I say on the path to destruction, if you lack motivation, you lack accountability, you lack
that's
awareness.
Yeah, that
you
that
know
helps.
You lack just in a lot of different communication. There's a lot of different things that you're lacking, and it's been drilled in you, and you want to go against the grain so bad, right? Because it's not like you don't know. Anyone that knows me should know that my son knows, right, what he needs to should not be doing. So,
you know what's crazy about that? Okay, so. And this is weird to me. I went to school for psychology. So I've always been fascinated with how the human brain works, how people's thought processes are, and just even things within myself when I started to think of them differently. And I'm just like, damn, I could have did that a long time ago. And, you know, I would have been okay in this situation or that situation. Now when I analyze other people, I'm just like, dang, you're right there. Just think about it in a different way. Go about it in a different way. One of the things that I've come up with, and it's fascinating, is like sometime you have to say it 60 billion times, and then it's like 60 billion and one is that time where it finally clicks. It's kind of weird like that. Or sometimes the same message that you're conveying, it has to come from somewhere else. It has to come from a different messenger. You know.
So it's come from so many different messengers, whether it's been, you know, my cousin who he like looks up to, my sisters, you know, just several different people have tried to give it to him. He's hard-headed. I was too. I was hard-headed.
But you never know where it's gonna come from. Like for me, and
I think for him, I think it's gonna come from a bad experience.
Believe it or
one
not,
that he's actually gonna have to face the consequences of.
Right.
And I can honestly say that to this point, he's never really had to face
anything really.
Consequences.
Okay.
So it's always been
no accountability.
Like, exactly.
I get you.
There's always been just a lot of talking of, oh, this might happen, or this is going to happen, or blah 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 blah. But there's no follow through or see through to it, right?
See it happen.
And so I think it's going to take something drastic for him to finally get the picture of what has been drilled into him that he continuously wants to go against.
That's true. I understand that, because I was in that same position, similar, being homeless, and I didn't feel horrible about it. I was just like, I'm gonna get up and do what I can, do my best, and something is bound to happen. But what's crazy is the message for me came from a homeless lady, just out of the blue. Like, I've always been a firm believer of don't really pay too much attention to the messenger. Pay more attention to the message. Because there may be parts of the message that you need to take away and apply to certain areas in your life, for it to work. So I'm just like, God will talk to you from any direction he feels like. If he want this bottle to talk to you, it's gonna talk to you, And it was crazy. I was going home. Well, I didn't have a home. I don't know why I said that. I was going back to my car because I was sleeping out of my car, and I was sitting at the bus stop waiting on the bus. I had just came from visiting my brother, and I just sitting there like, and this lady just out of the blue, this homeless lady sitting there with her basket. She goes like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Is she talking to me?" Like, what the hell? She's like, "What are you doing out here?" I was like, "What the fuck? She got to be crazy." But it's like she just knew me, but she didn't know me. She's just like, "Why are you not going hard out here? You should be going hard out here, harder. Like, I don't know what you doing, but you ain't going hard out here. And you got it, but you ain't going hard out here." And I was like, okay, how do you know me? This shit feel too divine.
What'd she look like? Did she have all her teeth?
That's funny. Honestly, that was back in 2009. I just can't remember. She was kind of dirty. She was like a black lady, but she's kind of dirty. Or she's Mexican, black or black. She was right in there somewhere. She was colored. She was definitely a minority. Shout out to her. I hope she got on her feet for real. But for real, she really told me the realest thing. And, some people will look at it and be like, how's this homeless lady going to tell me anything? Look at you. But I didn't look at it like that. I'm just like, you're human like me. Everybody falls on hard times. Some people get into a rut. They never come out of it. Some people choose to be this way. It is what it is. But I'm definitely going to take away from it what I should and what's for me and apply it. Yeah. And that's what I did. And it came like, it didn't all happen at one time. It came in like waves. It was layers. Like, so 2 years after that, I thought I was like, oh, I'm doing my shit. I'm going pretty hard now. I wasn't. I was harder than I was at before she talked to me, but I still wasn't going as hard as I could have went. And it's crazy. I was in Vegas. I had a daughter already, my oldest daughter. I had come back to California for a minute, and I had cut my hair. And when I got back, I had to go clear up like some bullshit warrants. I had some traffic stuff, and it was crazy how that popped up. Yeah, shit can catch up with you, so beware out there and stay on top of your business.
It always does catch up.
But it was small shit. I didn't think it was going to be nothing big, Right. And what's crazy is like...
and the longer that you let small stuff...
fester, it's going to turn into bigger shit.
Bigger things, yeah.
Man, so what was my moment was like, I don't like being denied. Like, you don't like being denied, for certain things or whatnot. I just don't like being denied for opportunity. That was my thing. And I had this job on the table, and I was like, oh, this is going to be the turnaround right here. I love it. I can't wait. Nope. Can't have it. Because I had this other shit going on, and it was so minor. They could have looked over it. They could have just been like, oh, it's nothing. Now, they were politicking. That's just the truth of the matter.
Right.
But if it was for me, God would have gave it to me, and that would have just been that.
Right.
But apparently he needed me to get on something totally different and do something totally different. And when I got back, to Vegas, I was gone maybe like a few weeks just so I can clear some shit up. When I got back, I was running everywhere under the sun. It didn't matter where the hell it was. I'm like, I'm going to put my name on this, on that, over here, over there. And shit just started coming to me. It started happening, And it's really like you're running a race, you know what I'm saying? But you're not running a race against nobody else but you,
Well,
and your old self. You just...
Things will opportunity will knock, especially when you're aligned with what the mission is, right? And the vision. And I think we've talked about this before, that it's one thing to say what you want, right? And to manifest, but you also have to couple that manifestation with action.
Right. Yeah. So faith without actions is dead.
It's dead, right?
And faith without works is dead.
For you in that situation, I think that you had a job on the table, an opportunity to get out of homelessness, but then there was something holding you back because you hadn't taken care of these things. You were running from them, and they caught up with you, right? And turned into bigger things.
I wasn't running. I was just being irresponsible.
Well, I use running like as a metaphor, right? Not necessarily like you were literally running from it.
Because I don't be running,
right? But as a metaphor, I'm just saying that when we don't take care of things that we need to take care of in a form, in a way that is running from what we need to do,
That's
right?
true.
Hiding from it, whatever it is, we're not facing it head on.
Right.
And depending on what it is, it does have the opportunity to snowball and get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Come back and bite you in the ass.
Right. And in your situation, it prohibited you from getting a job in which you needed to get out of a bad situation.
That shit was crazy because it was like 7 people in that room.
But the moment
all
that
of us
you
got
put that
hired
action,
except me and like one other guy. That shit was like, it was like, it felt like being in elementary when you're supposed to go on the end of the year school trip somewhere. Remember that we used to have those, and then you were the kid that was being bad the whole year, so you didn't get a chance to go. So what the fuck? Everybody else gets a chance to go?
Yeah,
hell no. Nah. But that's what it felt like.
And the moment that you put that action behind whatever it is that you wanted, right?
Oh yeah.
Things started to change for you.
Most definitely.
And that's my whole point is that,
most definitely.
My child says he wants to do these things, and he says a lot, when you ask him. But the reality is that if you really wanted to do these things, you have all the opportunity in the world to position yourself to complete them and to do them.
It's true.
But you're simply just not doing the things that you say you want to do. And instead you're choosing the opposite, right? And so when I say the path to destruction, I mean just that, whatever that looks like. I'm not saying, hey, you have to work a 9 to 5, but at 18 years old, what else should you be doing? You should be either going to school or working a job.
That's
I mean, people may disagree with me. Even if you're saying I am on the road to entrepreneurship, right? Okay, you can be on the road to entrepreneurship, but again, what does that look like and what are you doing? What actions are you doing to get to entrepreneurship? So as an 18-year-old person, young person, the world is your oyster,
right?
But you only have a very small window before you're no longer that young of a person, right?
That's true.
And where you have to seize those opportunities. And in a situation where your parents are saying, hey, you don't have to pay rent to stay here. You don't have to buy groceries to stay here.
Right.
I want you to pay an $85 internet bill just to learn how to pay some bills.
Right.
Hey, you need to get a credit card so you can establish some credit. You leave the light on and your game on till 6 a.m. So as a result, you're going to pay some electric, But I mean, those are very minor things in the grand scheme of things,
Shit, I wish I can go pay an electric bill and only that right now. Matter of fact, can I just come pay the internet bill right
now? So it's just that he doesn't see it in the way that he should see it. And I'm not sure what lens he's looking at life through, but that's the scariest part for me as a parent I know that where he's headed doesn't end well. It doesn't end well.
I always say too, like, society and the world has always kind of like I ain't gonna say shunned, but like put this negative connotation on following. And I'm here to say that every damn leader had to once be a follower. Because if you don't know what example to follow, you won't be a good leader.
Absolutely.
So there's nothing wrong with following, but know what and who and where to follow.
Right.
You know? Like, but society, again, has just flipped this thing around.
I would say that he's definitely a follower, you know, and I think in this situation, like this whole like quitting your job without a job to hang out and him not coming home for all these days, it's just, you know, I think whoever is in his ear, you know, is saying whatever, making it sound like whatever it is, you know, and like my mom always told me, those friends aren't going to be there for you when times get hard. Because guess what? You got some money in your pocket right now because you've been living at home rent free and you've been stacking this money for some months. But the moment that money runs out and you don't have a job, guess what, honey? Where do you think those people are going to, where are they going to be at then?
They're going to bounce. And you know,
and it's gonna be a sad day for you.
Oh yeah,
because you're gonna understand that once again, your mom was right.
No, that is true. You know, I've always been self-starter, get up and go get it myself. I actually had moved, like I said, when I first moved to Vegas, I had went with my cousin, and it's kind of crazy. It's like, you know, he's always kind of been about his money, you know, and whatnot, but at the same time, he's spoiled. I mean, I was spoiled too, to some degree, but like his spoiling was like that spoil we talk about, where you're a little sheltered, you know, but a good shelter to where you have the people around you to push you into your purpose. You know what I'm saying? So if he's like, hey, I want to become this, they'll supply you with what you need to become that, and allow you the time that you need to do all of that. And I saw that with you know, a lot of his uncles, aunts, stuff like that. And I'm just like, yeah, that's cool. Now, for me, it's different. You know what I mean? And I'm with you. And I was seeing, like, the divide in that part. It's like, you know, hey, I got to really get up and go get it. You know what I mean? You really don't have to. You can kind of just kick it. And there's nothing wrong with that. And, you know, my auntie she going to be cool with that. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? But for me, it's a little different. So when we actually had moved back to California for the first time, I told him, like, man, bro, I think I'm going back. Like, you know, I need to get what I need to get.
Yeah.
I need to go fulfill my purpose. Now, granted, I feel like I should have stayed almost, but at the same breath, I wouldn't be the person I am today if I didn't go back and face, you know, what I faced and do what I did. Because when I got back, it was just like, damn, I knew it was going to be this. I knew it was that.
Yeah.
I remember all of these places calling me up for jobs and this and that. I'm just like, I can't follow your footsteps. I respect it, and that's your path.
You have to write your own story.
My own is this way. Like, I don't.
And maybe that's where he's at, and maybe he'll prove us all wrong. You know,
hey,
there's a possibility. Anything's possible.
You know,
anything's possible.
I tell my oldest daughter still right now, like, you know, you got to decide on what you want to do, like, early. You got to know something about you right now. Like, she even thinks like that too, to some degree. And it's hard to punish her.
I disagree. I don't think you have to. I think as a there's adults that don't know what they want to do.
Well, have an idea. That's all I'm saying. Have an idea so
and
you can explore
different things.
Yeah, because I want you to have
to be
a
open.
few. Yeah, I want you to have a few different things.
You have to be open.
Like, and that was the thing for us. We knew what we wanted to do. Like, we wanted to go hang out. We wanted to go do this. We wanted to go do that. But we also knew, okay, we can't go do that until this is done, that's done, this is taken care of.
Right.
So that was the motivation right there.
Well, and I think the more sheltered you are, the more privileged you are, I think it's a gift and a curse.
It is.
Right? Because I think that group of people that are super privileged and sheltered, they unfortunately have to learn things the very, very hard way.
It's crazy,
right?
man.
Like, life has to kick their ass before they get
it in gear. Yeah,
right. Whereas, like, people that, like myself, who wasn't very sheltered, and I wasn't privileged in any way, and I had to see a lot of things, and I had to grow up before my time. I already had an idea in my head because I had seen, by the time I was 12, I had seen so much shit that I'm like, okay, I already know what I don't want out of life.
Exactly.
By 12.
Not finna be
I
that.
didn't. I may not have known.
That.
I mean, then I thought I'd be a teacher, right?
Uh-huh.
And or an actress. That's what I always said. An actress or a teacher, whatever. Life doesn't always turn out the way that you plan it.
Right.
But I knew that the things that I saw, I didn't want any parts of, and I didn't want to go through those struggles.
Right.
And so, that was my gift, right? And my curse for my kid is that, he is an only child. Well, he's my only child. He doesn't really know struggle. And the struggle that he has known has been with like his other side. And so, he kind of flocks to like some of that. Like some of that he kind of is like,
Yeah, no, I get
he wants
that.
to kind of live like that.
Like that,
and do what he has kind of seen. And my thing is that like, that's, we'll see how it all pans out for you.
Yeah, most definitely.
We will see how it pans out for you.
Most definitely.
Tough love. Everyone's different. Some people, I know a lot of people that I talk to have kind of been like, that's what's wrong with our community, and we can't do that with our kids, and blah, 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 blah. We can't kick them out when they're 18. We need to do this for them. We need to pay for this. We need to pay for that. And I just say that at the end of the day, we all know our kids, our strengths, their weaknesses. Right. And parenting doesn't come with a handbook.
No, not at all.
Right. And I think that, just kind of based off of who your kids are, you have to, just like you have to love them in the way that they receive love, you have to parent them according to how they receive, and
retain as well.
And for my son, he would say, "Oh, you yell a lot." I yell a lot, but I never was like a big hitter.
You be yelling a lot?
I do. I yell.
You gotta calm down. So you gotta calm down.
Right. And the thing is we also parent in the ways that we've seen, right?
That's
and
true.
that we know how to parent, right?
You see get yelled at?
Oh my God. My mom was never like there were times where she would jack us up a little bit, but, but she was for the most part a yeller.
So, my mom was definitely the disciplinary in my house. My mom beat the black off of you. She didn't play that.
Yeah.
But I learned that whoopings don't necessarily work for my kids. Like one kid, okay. One kid is like, nah, I don't want that. And my other kid is like a renegade. She's just like, bring it on. Nigga. Like, what's up?
Right. Well,
I'm going to go do it again.
And that's why
like,
I say that tough love is kind of where I'm at, because he's never had to face consequences. And I've always run to that rescue of saving him just to get him through, to get him through. And so now I'm like, I got you this far. Yeah. But this is now where I leave you. These are the choices that you're choosing to make. So I can't make your choices for you. Right. And life is going to have to show you most definitely better than I can tell you. Right. And that's just what it is.
Like right now, honestly, with my kids, they don't, I don't see, I'll say, because they're still in that stage of, warming up to me and learning who they are and who they're becoming and stuff like that. They haven't hit that mark of, I have this right here that I really love to do, or I really want to see myself do or with, and it's so near or dear to my heart, nothing will stop me from getting it. Because then when I find out what that is, I'm going to use that as the biggest tool for motivation I can.
Well, and that's the other thing, is my son has never been a kid that was motivated by much. Oh, man. So it comes at no surprise to me that now you're 18 and you still don't have a lot of motivation, because he wasn't the kid that you could like take stuff from and he would change his behavior. Yeah, no, he wasn't that kid.
I was that.
And he wasn't the kid that you could ground and he would change his behavior.
That was that.
Nothing. He's just always been a relentless type of kid, and he's gonna do what he wants to do, and he's hard-headed and he's strong-willed, and he's.
Does he like money?
Apparently not. He quit his job.
Well, I'm saying, hey, I'm just saying, like, you know, you got to just find what it is. Like I say, like for us, going outside was the shit. If I couldn't go outside, money
that much.
Well, maybe you don't know.
He would rather hang out than go make money.
Okay, well,
so you can't
look,
you can't like money.
That would have been one of those things right there that my mom would have definitely used against me. You know what I mean?
I didn't know this up until today when I found out that he quit his job.
Right.
And mind you, he hasn't been home in 3 days.
True.
So in my mind,
okay, so
why are you not coming home? And he said he wanted to hang out.
When you talk to him though,
I talked to him.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying when you actually get him face to face or you talk to him again. Mm-hmm. Don't yell. Sometimes.
Oh, I didn't yell at him.
Well, I understand, but sometimes
I'm done yelling. Like I said,
but look at where it's at though.
I am at the point now where I told him, "You're schedule a time to come pick up your thing." Kind of like how your mom evicted you.
No, it ain't like that.
He's evicted.
Don't say that.
I swear.
Come on,
I'm done. This is where I leave you. You made adult choices. You're gonna go out like the girl that gets pregnant in her parents' house. You made adult choices to quit your job, not come home, not answer your mom's phone calls. Yeah, to do all these things like you're an adult and that you've got it all figured out. Since you've got it all figured out, I just want you to know that we're living in some shitty times. The shittiest of times that we've seen in 40 years.
I mean, you're right. It's been fucked up.
It's some shitty times. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what your plan is, but I'm just going to be here for you when you fall, and we'll go from there. But for right now, I can't continue to stress myself out behind what I can't control, and I can only control what I can control.
That's true.
And clearly he's making it very clear that it's not him or his decisions. So
that's true. I get it.
Yeah.
I definitely get it. We all got to go through it, you know.
Yeah.
I pray that y'all get right through it though. And it doesn't end in the way that we see most things end for black men. Because I don't want that.
I pray that too.
For real. I don't want that. You know, that is definitely a nightmare.
Yeah.
And we do not want that. Young man, please get it together. Give it your best. We all been there, but give it your best. Come on, man. You can do it. You can do it.
You can. You can
definitely do it.
So I will continue to pray. Thank you for talking to me, because this has been a challenging week. This is one of those topics that I think is sensitive, because
it is.
I'm sure there's lots of other parents in these situations, and it's like, what do you do? Because you love your children are your most precious
most definitely
possession.
Most definitely.
And what do you do when they are no longer children? But they're not quite ready for the real world. They're not mature. They're unprepared. And you know this. And you can't save them, from themselves. What do you do?
If you know or have some suggestions, people, leave it in the comments.
Yeah.
Please, enlighten us, because we're always open to that. The more knowledge that's shared and passed around, the better it is for the community. So it takes a village.
It does. It does. And I want to thank all of you guys for tuning in, as always, to the Common Sensitivity Podcast. We are out.
Control.